a lot of people think that because the oil price has dropped by 50%, so also our ticket price should go down by 50%. They don't realize that when the oil prices were high, our margins were absolutely eroded and we were into negative territory. Fortunately, we were hedged, so we benefited from a stable oil price calculation into our cost structure.
I had Sir Tim Clark was in the hot seat, as it were, yesterday, and I was asking him about the 380. As you know, he speaks very positively about the 380. He'd like to see it redeveloped. He acknowledged a lot of other airlines he believes haven't yet woken up to the value of that plane. Do you share his view that that will take off more than it has done, or is it going to remain in the low levels of orders?
I always share his views because he has been in this industry before me. So, you know, I have to always agree, and we have, as you know, a very close relationship with Emirates. You have seen already the benefit of synergies that we bring when we order aeroplanes together, when we attack people together, and
I don't know if Tim would agree.
And we exchange information together, and this is a really perfect example of what even competitors can do for the benefit of each other. If this aircraft can perform with between 10 and 15% better fuel burn, then this aircraft is really a killer for the airlines. I don't know if Airbus will be able to do it. I know from them that they are very keen to look into this.
You're going to be in Washington a week today. We've seen this report come out. You know, I've studied it. I'm sure not as much as you. I've read it, you know, every line, at least for 54 pages. I haven't gone through all the 1,000 pages, but did it come as a surprise? Did it come out of the blue that? There's been murmurings for a long time, but to suddenly see that come out with 3 airlines.
I will go to their government in a very clear way, in a very precise way, in a very direct way to show them the misleading information that is floating to them. And now they're talking about subsidies to us, whilst ours is not subsidy. Ours is proper government equity in a company that is owned by the sovereign fund of my country. So what's the problem? The problem is when you start flying 767-200s around, which is 35 years old aeroplane, stopped production 2 decades ago, fooling your customers, of course he cannot compete. So he's, you know, screaming. I don't think that his argument will stand. I'm sure the government of United States will look at the bigger picture, the interest of their economic interest, and the thousands of jobs that our aircraft order creates in the industry, much more than he creates in Delta.
Yeah. I think you were quoted in the British press a few months ago as saying there was almost too much democracy in the UK and the airport should be 24 hours a day. Tell us more about your view on Heathrow and Gatwick.
I don't believe in too much democracy at times, because politicians look at their personal interest to safeguard their chair in the House of Commons than looking at the bigger interest of the country, the economy, job creation. You know, there are a few people that make noises about noise pollution around Heathrow. I mean, you know, Heathrow has been there for decades. They chose to come and stay near Heathrow. So they should accept a little bit of a noise. And I always tell people that with modern aeroplanes, by the time the runway will be ready, I'm sure you will not be a journalist anymore. I will not be the CEO, because, you know, in UK it takes centuries for something to happen. It will transform that whole region, that whole area around the airport. And it is so important for the economy of the United Kingdom, keeping in mind that nearly over 99% of the slots at Heathrow is already occupied, which means that there is a requirement for a runway. I think they should just go along and build one.